is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, man. And it's feeling like how I love it. I love it hot. I love it warm. You feel me? I'm one of them ones, like I say all the time, I'll rather sweat than shiver. Put this on this packet. Hold on, let me just check something. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. Well, what's good, people? It's your boy Champ Jones, live in Hartford, our beloved capital of Connecticut. Today, we're actually on Main Street in between Elmer and, well, what's this? Well, Capon. You can say between Elmer and Capon Street at the little park joint next to the church. Yeah, man, it's a beautiful day. We couldn't pass it by. We had a little adversity earlier today with the rain situation. Luckily, our ancestors came and just cleared that out real fast. That was like a sneeze. And then we got blessed with some beautiful, much-needed sunshine, man. The Lord knows I can't get enough of sunshine and warm weather, man. Y'all know I'm a California baby. Y'all know I spent half my life in Cali, so I've been fiending for this type of weather, man. But needless to say, I'm hoping everybody is, doing well, mentally, physically, and spiritually. I'm hoping everybody is constructing their positive mental mind state. Y'all forgot we on Main Street, man. Hey. Shout out to my boy Rome, man, Lieutenant, man. Big Hartford Fire Department, man. I knew my boys since Webster days. I love seeing my brothers going to work, man. But needless to say, man, today I wanted to bring up the topic of discussion of the normalities in the household, the behaviors in the household, and how it affects us all. You know what I'm saying? Essentially, like, what we normalize in our household, the behaviors that our parents teach us or we learn from our parents, our guardians, our family in general, how we take that and normalize it out in the world. Like I said, we on Main Street, yo, so y'all gonna hear sirens all day, B. Not being funny, but it's one of the busiest streets of Hartford. Feel me? That's how you get from Windsor, Bang, to Hartford. But needless to say, right? Lately, we've been building with a lot of youth, engaging with a lot of youth, listening to a lot of youth, feeling a lot of youth. And collectively, the common denominator are the things that they picked up in a household. May it be from mother, father, brother, sister, cousin, aunt, uncle, grandma, grandfather, right? And I noticed the trend just looking at hindsight, speaking to a lot of the elders and ancestors that I knew personally. And when they would speak of the normalities in their household, it made sense why they had such a love of community. When they spoke on the normalities of their household, it made sense on why they had a beautiful community. When they spoke on the normalities of their household, it spoke about how beautiful the community was. So now think about that. What was going on in that house that was brought outside to make these environments in these communities, in these neighborhoods? Hi, Auntie. Thank you. You know the ancestors got me. I'm good, hopefully. Good. But needless to say, what was the normality in these homes that made it easier on the community to love? Now, we're not going to say it wasn't adversity. We're not going to say it wasn't challenges. Needless to say, it wasn't no, what we know how it is to be now as far as the normality and the behaviors of the household. When I spoke to my grandparents often about the normalities in their household, it always revolved around respect, discipline, structure, love, you know what I'm saying? Sharing, all of these great qualities that when you think about it and you see it in action in the household, it makes sense why when they go outside, those be the ones that have good friends, best friends, because they're cultivated in the atmosphere where that's the normality. They're normalizing looking out for each other. They're normalizing cleaning up. They know how it is to be disciplined. Now, I won't make that an absolute and say that every person brought up in that household turns out like that. I'll never make that absolute, but needless to say, you know what I'm saying? Look at the numbers, man. Even you guys know, as whoever grew up at a certain time with loving people in the community, the household has structure. This person had chores, they're supposed to be done before you can play this video game. Before you drink that soda, let me see you drink water. You only get 1 cup of juice after dinner. Take the trash out. You ain't going outside till I check your homework. Those children who went through that are some of the most responsible people I know today. And on the flip side, sometimes that pressure in the household can break a child who isn't explained the necessity of understanding why that has to go on. If you just forcing and pushing this on the child without having some type of empathy and transparency with them, they gonna rebel. They not gonna want to do nothing nowhere else, man. They gonna walk around like, bruh, I do enough housework at home. I take enough verbal demands, commands, and orders at home. I don't want to hear that nowhere else. What you mean I got to? I don't got to do nothing. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So we have to get to a point where we're teaching our kids responsibilities and showing them what rewards look like as well. There's nothing wrong with allowances or little trinkets and Xbox games every now and then to show them the value of hard work paying off. If you just, I feel personally, if you just enforce and trying to create a robot, that's going to open up a possibility for rebellion. Like I said, it may not be in the household, but if a kid go through that enough, and when they do go outside, they don't want to hear no orders. Man, I got to go home and do all these orders. I'm not trying to hear that outside. So as parents, we got to get to understanding how to cultivate an atmosphere, how to build a structure that will be conducive with how we want our kids to be successful in society. If you want your kid to be successful, you got to install and create an atmosphere in which they got to be the best them. Everything can't be treats. Everything can't be fun. But everything ain't got to be whip, punishment. Because unbeknownst to us, they would develop a mechanism of understanding that, and they'll take that on. Now, everywhere they go and they hear an order, they may feel they have to follow that, because in the household, they're taught to follow, listen, obedience. If you teach a child and just give them rewards all day, they're going to feel entitled, obligated, you know what I'm saying? They're going to feel like I don't got to do nothing because I'm guaranteed this anyway. So we have to find a balance. It's a book, what was the book I read? It was a book I had to read in college, man. Oh, Lord, man. What was the name of that book, bro? Dang, I forgot the name of that book, bro. But needless to say, the book was talking about how kids are part of a marketing scheme for all these other big corporations that want them to always want. And when you're dealing with parents who have, when you're dealing with parents or guardians that have career jobs or jobs that's important for that matter anywhere, or that requires a lot of time, we use those toys and gadgets and things that they want as pacifiers or as babysitters, and that's destructive. That's destructive because what they develop is a dependency on that to get them through times where they should be learning how to speak, voice how they feel. You know what I'm trying to say? We teach them steps. Excuse me. If we don't show them and teach them that, yo, listen, I will and I can get you any and everything you want in life. That's my job. I can't wait to do that. But needless to say, I need you to understand and value what it means to do hard work and the value, appreciate a reward. Some children don't know what a reward is. They look at it as, like I said, an entitlement. Like I'm supposed to have the flyest sneakers. Like, quiet as kept, I'm gonna keep it a buck, right? When I was in Quirk Middle in 7th grade, and my Auntie Kim is watching, my Auntie Kim, my witness. Man, listen, when I was going to Quirk Middle, needless to say, I used to have a lot of good sneakers, feel me? And a lot of people used to be like, yo, this dude stay with Jordans, yo. Home got every Jordan that come out, or he stay crisp, all that. Needless to say, bro, those was my Nana sneakers. My Nana wears expensive sneakers. That's what she works hard for. That's what she loves. My family was going through a financial hardship at that particular moment in time. And it just so happened to be at a time where your appearance, your clothes, all that mean a lot to you. Mind you, bro, it's Quirk Middle. 0102. Like, it was dead serious. Like, for real. But needless to say, dudes will be complimenting me on sneakers and I'll play it off, not knowing these my Nana sneakers, bro. My Nana sent me a tote full of all her old Jordans and Nikes and Uptowns, all that. Only thing my Nana was missing was the fitteds. If she would have had fitteds, shit, I would have been fabulous in the school, you heard? But needless to say, my point I'm trying to make is, I didn't look at that as an entitlement when I got those. I didn't look at that as an obligation for my Nana to do that when I got those. Honestly, I was overwhelmed with emotion because it saved me some heartache from those who didn't know. But needless to say, it reminded me of the value, you know what I'm saying, the level of appreciation when somebody just does a gesture for you that they don't have to. And like I said, we on Main Street, yo, so it's gonna be like that. Yep, Nana sent all those sneakers. Yep, you remember auntie, my Nana sent a tote full of Jordans, bruh. All that was hers. And my Nana's a Nana. She not doing nothing, so all them joints was fly. Still new, still crisp, all that. So when I threw them on, ain't nobody know no difference not knowing these my Nana sneakers, bro. And Quirk Middle. But the summer before that, that's when Ames was still out here. My mom used to get my sneakers for Ames sometimes. Don't get it twisted. Sometimes my family would come through, get us right. A lot of my sneakers was coming from the flea market in New Haven. Niggas ain't know that neither. But I wasn't the only one, but that's not get it twisted. But my sneakers that I was coming up with was from the flea market, bruh. My mother and my father was not dropping bucks on sneakers, bruh. Hell no, especially if I didn't earn it. Hey, yo, do you know what I would have to do to earn a pair of Wheats? I think I had one or two pair of Wheats between my 7th grade year and my senior year of high school. My mother not paying no juice or $150. You know what sneakers saved us? New Balances. You was able to get 2 for $95, 1 for $45, bro. That saved us. New Balances, Adidas. Man, I ain't gonna say no names, but this person know, bro. We copped the same sneakers from Payless before, right? They had 4 stripes. And the way we freaked them is when we went to school, we put the jeans over the 4th one so it looked like we had the Adidas on. Stop playing. Stop playing. Dudes had me all twisted. Niggas thought I was spoiled or you got both your parents. Nigga, you don't know what was going on in my house. Keep it a buck with you. And if that was the case, if my house was so peachy creamy, I wouldn't have had as much time outside as I did with y'all. So let's not play that. Needless to say, the point I want to drive home is, at an early age, I understood the difference between what's entitled to you, what's rewarded to you, what's a gesture, what's a blessing. You know what I mean? You got to learn the difference between those, because if you don't know the difference, you will block blessings, you will block rewards, you will block gifts, you will block earnings. You know what I'm trying to say? And not for nothing, I'm one of the ones, like, I don't like certain rewards, certain acknowledgments. Like, I've been acknowledged a lot lately. And quite honestly, it kind of messed with me. Like, it kind of messed with me because I was brought up in a household where the best was the expectation. It wasn't an option. It wasn't an option. It wasn't a goal. My parents, bro, did not play that, yo. Like, I'm so serious. Like, they was fun. Like, dudes would come over and be like, man, your parents cool as hell. I'm like, yeah, you right. While we got company, nigga. Soon as y'all niggas bounce, whatever y'all did in here that was wild, whatever noise y'all made, whatever mess y'all, I'm about to catch all that fire. What you talking about? Responsibility, accountability, that was the norm in my house, bruh. So when it comes in the world, I don't expect that, I don't expect nothing less than that. Not because I'm on a high horse, no. It's because that's the normality that I was cultivated in. My mother would check my homework. My mother would check my homework. Problem 1 through 10 will be 100% correct. If my handwriting is sloppy, my mother would say, now you know better than that. Why is you writing like this? See, you rushing. Erase that and go back and write it again. She ain't say the work was wrong. She reminded me, you don't slack off. You don't sell yourself short. You don't cheat yourself. You don't cut no corners. You do it the right way and you do it how you should. When you do that over and over, bruh, there will be something in you that will keep you in that mind state of normality. Now, with my pops was a hard worker. My father, like, I done see my father work 3 jobs, bruh, at 3 jobs. It'd been times I done forgot what the nigga looked like, honestly. This when I was a kid. But needless to say, my father used to work so much, bruh, that I used to wake up when he woke up in the morning, like this when we was living in California, so I had to be like 4th, 5th grade. When he would wake up at 4:30 in the morning, I used to wake up at that time just so I can hug him before he went to work. Because that would be the only time I would see him. Unless I was getting my ass whooped, feel me? But needless to say, I didn't see my father like that because he worked. And then I would always wonder, like, how come every time I want to chill with him or see him, I can't? But every time I'm in trouble, I'm getting my ass whooped. Like, I'm not understanding that. Make sense to me. As I got older, I understood, man, that man was working. That man was putting in some serious work, man. And the last thing he wanted to have was a child that was being disobedient, not using their full potential, not trying, all of the above. And as I got older, I understood now, especially my own sons, like, he was trying to normalize something. And quite honestly, ever since then, I've been waking up at 4:35 in the morning since I was in 5th grade. When it come to being to work on time, being to school on time, I wasn't one of them dudes that's coming to school late. Probably my senior year when I knew I was already honor roll or honorable mention. Needless to say, I wasn't playing that, bro. I was in breakfast in school, all that. That's how early I used to get. I was one of them niggas that we was there early enough. We sharing CDs. Dude, because once you start getting crowded, too many niggas, bro, anything could pop off. So you got to. But needless to say, bro, court, middle of the pod, I was one of the dudes that the earliest, bro. Not because I wanted to help you get there. It was just embedded in me to get early, be there on time, and do your best and give your all. And when you do that repetitively, it becomes a part of your DNA, man. It comes embedded. So on the flip side of that, what about our unfortunate family members who deal with a different normality, a violent normality, a substance abusing normality, maladaptive behaviors, and all these and other stressors and mental health triggers that our children take on, and they go outside and mimic these actions and exhort these parallel emotions with children who may not understand that. Because I remember being a kid, this Oakland time, some little dudes had it bad. Like, I remember, bro, even at that age, some little dudes had it bad. I didn't understand, like, and I, like in hindsight, like they always wanted to fight dudes, always getting in trouble, stealing niggas snacks and stuff like that. And then you would think back, like, damn, why was home doing that to home, man? Or why would home do that to home, man? Or why he attacking home, man? Some of these dudes' fathers was in jail for years. Some of these dudes' fathers just came in. Some of their mothers was in jail. Some of their mothers was on drugs and vice versa. And I say that to be extremely transparent and empathetic, because I'm not one of the ones to blame those on nobody. I always know that it starts from somewhere. It was an experience that made it hard to cope with, so we developed a habit. But prior to that, man, it was one of the things we was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Now we got communities, streets, areas where the normality is mental health issues, triggers, violence. That's the normality. So when you try to explain to a young man or a young woman that there's an alternative way, sometimes it may not click. sometimes it may not click because that's not their normality. What you mean I gotta walk away? You know where I live at? When fights go on the whole block outside, what I look like walking away? If I walk away, I can't come outside tomorrow. So now wherever they go somewhere, they may feel entitled to get into altercations naturally, fearlessly, because that's the time of the day in which they're cultivated at, where they're nurtured at. See what I'm saying? So it's unfortunate that sometimes we raise our children and we perpetuate our survival modes. It's hard and rare that we'll find communities that's living and thriving. You know what I'm saying? Especially what I mean as far as the confines of inner cities. That's hard, man, because there's so many other elements that play a part to living and comfortability and things of safety and things as such, that everybody sometimes is always in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, your breathing could get irregular, your nervous system could get all type of discombobulated and possibly shut down. Your brain is like, and it's funny because it's like before you start learning terms and learning diagrams that's explaining these circumstances that your body experiences during trauma, in the hub, we look at that shit like, home just mad. Oh man, home bugging, he's straight. Or she just acting like a bee or whatever. She'll be out tomorrow. Or yo, why you acting like that? Oh man, this nigga bugging, man. You like, man, come on, stop acting like a bitch. Not knowing home probably going through extreme depression, chronic stress, all type of stuff. And until you can understand those terms definitively and how it affects everybody, bruh, once that bell comes down, it's kind of scary, man. Because it's like, BC! Because it get to be one of the things where, like, you don't know how to tackle it because you understand in our communities, this is the time of day. I can't take a young man out of survival mode if he lives in a war-like environment. That may hurt him more than help him. So it's a parallel walk. It's a fine walk of ice, man, that you gotta have, especially if you still learning yourself. I'm still healing from things I went through with my parents when I was a young boy because I didn't understand. Now that I understand, it's a matter of rewiring, refixing, rebuilding, and taking this impulsive responses that I'm used to dealing with and reshaping it and having a positive look out on it. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and it's kind of twisted when you look at it like that, because it's like, damn, how many people know that? And how can we take this knowledge? How can we take this information and bring it to our people? Black mental health is undervalued. Oh my bro. Yo. Undervalued, yo. We can't, that word, I get what you're saying and I love it. But I don't even think that word is sufficient for what our mental health is, yo. Like, and what's so interesting about it is you got individuals who may not look like us that understand the neurobiological aspect of things, the psychological aspect of things, the psychiatric things, the biological, all these things, they understand it all. But there's a piece of them that still remind themselves to know, like, or feel like these individuals choose to be in that situation. Or they could why don't just move? Just move. Stuff like that. That you'll be like, you don't know much about mental health if you think you do that now. I'm talking about people who are living on streets and blocks that their grandfathers were raised on. That's a different comfortability. Even if that's deemed a hot spot or crime spot, there's a different feeling when there's individuals in your community that knew your grandparents, and every time they see you, to remind you, that's such and such grandson. Oh, you remember Shirley? Oh, you remember, that's their grandson. If my block hot and I'm not trying to leave here if I'm loved. I'ma stay here. And if you harm somebody from here, I'ma have to see how that works. So you gotta look at it differently. You can't just look at it sometimes like how we see, like, oh, it's just little niggas on the block, or they just niggas on the block, or they da-da-da. No, man. Some of these individuals on these in these environments, their family has been here to see the changes. Their family has been here to say, I had the opportunity to leave Hartford. I had the opportunity to leave the North End. I had the opportunity to leave the South End. I had the opportunity to leave the West End. I had the opportunity to leave the state. But I didn't. Why? Because you'll hear this comment. Because my family was here. I didn't want to leave my family. My grandma's still here. My grandma been here since 1940, and she said she never leave. And then if she comfortable, why can't I? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? And it's another thing. We have to start reusing terms when we approach each other that invokes a strong positive emotion and a sense of safety. Now, I know when people hear commonly when we say, yo, uncle, what up, auntie? That could really be your uncle, that could really be your auntie, or that could be some other shit, which we know. But needless to say, when I call somebody uncle or auntie, look how this works, at least for me, how I interpret it. If I see an OG, right, and I'm walking, he like, yo, champ, what's going on? Yo, what up, Unc? When he hear Unc, that's gonna hit him. And when that hit him, he gonna think about the uncles that raised him. The uncles he loved. The uncles that put him on the game. Now that energy gonna hit me, gonna be like, yo, nephew, come here, Neff. Now he put me on the shit that I don't even need to know about, or I don't care about, or maybe I need to hear. But needless to say, it's a science in there. Our ancestors never left. I'm about to get deep with y'all. Hold on, my phone ringing. Oh, let me call y'all right back. Hold on.